But I just thought I'd come on because I wanted to have a little chat with one of my followers who has read the book, and we've both been chatting a bit this week because I think things have got on top of us a little bit, and I think it's good to talk to people that understand what you're going through. I hope people can hear me because I'm not too sure with obviously this storm. So I'm going to bring her on. There she is, and hopefully it'll work because it's pretty horrific out there. Oh, there she is.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm a bit scared with this this storm. Did you just get caught in
I'm,
it?
yeah, I was coming back from the dentist. I'm absolutely drenched.
Are you allowed in the
So,
are you allowed in the dentist now?
only one at a time. But I managed to get an emergency appointment today, so that was lucky.
Oh right, because I really want my brace off. So that wouldn't be classed as an emergency, I suppose.
Probably not now, because I ripped my filling out. So,
Oh, oh,
eating sweets that I shouldn't have been eating.
oh right, yeah. Going to the dentist. Well, actually, it was my fault.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to
However,
eat. You know them American nerd sweets.
I've not really got a sweet tooth, to be honest. I'm more of a crisp eater, if I'm honest, and
Well, they
bread.
make you really, really hyper. Like I get really high on them, so I'm not supposed to have them anyway. And then it broke my tooth, so that was karma, wasn't it? Really?
Oh, really? Do you? It's that my cousin has
Yeah,
that effect with Haribo.
yeah. Some sweets, 'cause it's just all the sugar, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I think it does though. Like I've gone back on my meal plan this week, and I've kind of, I was saying before, it's like a bit like when I used to be on meds and stuff, and you go on meds, and it takes your body
Yeah,
that time to adjust. It's like the same
yeah,
thing feels
definitely.
like that when I start going back into my regular eating. But then 5, 6 days into it, my mood starts to regulate then.
Yeah, you've
Um,
got to get used to it, haven't you?
yeah, which is better. But we both was talking this week that it's been a bit of a struggle, hasn't it? Like mood wise.
Yeah, definitely. For the past week, I felt like, when you get really manic, and I felt like there's another person coming out of me. Like I can
Mhm.
feel it taking over me. And I knew I was high because I'm quite self-aware now of when
Yeah.
and what I'm feeling and what I'm doing. And then I knew I'd crash eventually because obviously when you go up, you're going to come down. So
Yeah, of
that happened
course.
the past week, and then Sunday and yesterday was really hard. But I felt like you kicked me up the bum a bit. So I was like, new life day, and I've really been trying yesterday and today.
Because you did some yoga today, did you say? Didn't you? How was
I
that
did, yeah.
for you?
I really enjoyed it, and I think my body likes just be stretched as well. It felt like so amazing. I got disturbed after 30 minutes, so I'm going to finish it off later. But I think when you've got such a messy mind, it's really good to focus and channel all your energy into something positive. We were talking what we said about self-destructive behavior. Instead
Yeah.
of putting all my energy into that and destroying myself and my life, if I can focus on something like yoga or meditation that calms my mind, I'm going to be better off for it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I totally agree. I think sometimes though is that unfortunately you can get kind of wrapped up in a self-destructive route, and
Yeah,
then you kind of it can take you weeks then to get yourself back.
yeah,
And I think
definitely.
lockdowns affected everybody because obviously people that are used to going out to the I know me now it's started to affect me not going to the gym.
The gym,
Um,
yeah, I'm the same. I go to the gym normally, and it's just another way of like getting rid of that pent up energy that we have as people that suffer, and it makes you feel good, and it releases natural endorphins. Obviously, it makes you feel a lot better. I'm struggling without the gym,
yeah,
and
definitely.
I'm not a self motivated at home like to do a workout or anything on YouTube, put something on. I need to be in the gym.
No, I'm totally the same. Like for my yoga, I'm not too bad, but I even said to my yoga teacher before who's in IB for I said, I'm really struggling with my morning sadhana and it's quite a simple practice, the morning one.
Yeah,
And he was like, just follow the manual. And I said, but it's like I need him in front of me on the screen to do it.
yeah, yeah, I
Um,
agree.
And it's like with my trainer, it's really difficult unless if I'm in the gym 3 times a week, I'll go once on my own and train. But
Yeah,
it's having that I do feel like you do need to I do. It's like when I go on 40-day meditations, I know I've
yeah,
got to do that 40-day meditation, so I'll stick to it. But if it's
yeah.
kind of you have to get up and do it yourself and you're not in a good place, I think it's difficult.
It is, and I feel like, well, I know I'm quite a stubborn person as well. And I get myself stuck in this place, and I just don't help myself, which is the worst thing to do. And I'm quite glad now that I am very self-aware, like I said, of where my moves are and what I'm doing, and I'll catch myself sooner rather than years ago. It used to be months and months before I've
Yeah,
realised.
you
Like look
realise.
back and you realise everything what you've done. Now I'm more a few days, if unless I'm really poorly. But yeah, so it's good to be able to catch yourself and acknowledge accept your feelings, because you have to accept when you're having a bad time. And like we said, talk about it.
How do you feel that it affects you daily more than
Yeah,
when you do? Yeah. So
yeah,
you feel like every day can be different for you.
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah, which is
I'm just,
interesting. Because I'm the same.
yeah,
Like every day can be different, which people
yeah,
don't really recognize. I don't think a lot of the time people think with bipolar is you either have these really really low periods or really really high periods, which you do,
mm-hmm.
but then it's these little mini things in between.
Exactly. I think like, moods up down for everyone, but ours are so like up, and then it can be down, and I can change within hours.
Yeah, it's the intensity of it, isn't it? I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what
Yeah,
I struggle with. Like I can get up and be on cloud 9 and like
yeah,
literally like, yeah, let's take on the day. And then all of a sudden my energy by say 12 o'clock will just literally go woof. And I'm
yeah.
like,
I
oh my
think,
God, what's happening? I don't
yeah,
understand.
I'm exact same, Tash. I think as well, like when you do be that high, I think we just tire ourselves out, and you physically can't stay up there, and then you just crash. Then, like I said, when I'm on a high, I know a low's gonna come, but
Yeah,
I
it's
just
always the way,
literally wear
isn't it?
myself out. Yeah,
I think that's why the gym is an exercise is such a great outlet because it allows you to get rid of that excess energy.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but it's like, do you get it sometimes where you literally are that um, high, but you can't actually be productive, excuse me, with it? So
Yeah,
you can't sit down and watch the TV, can't pick a book up, can't clean the house, but
yeah.
you've got all this energy, but you can't actually focus it to do anything because
No,
your mind's
it's
too
too much.
fast.
Yeah, it overwhelms you, and you've got a million thoughts, a million miles an hour. And I'm very much a person as well. Like I'll start something, I don't finish it because I'll start something and I want to start something else, and then I'll move on to something else. Nothing ever gets finished.
No,
I
my
need to
trainer
like
said that to
stop.
me.
Mm,
That is
just
a
go, go,
fear I
go.
still have that actually, because I remember him
Right.
saying to me when I started powerlifting and he wanted me to do the competition and he said, "You need to finish this." He said, "Because you never see anything through."
Yeah.
Um, and I did see it through, but then I bottled out when it got to like the British and the Worlds, and it kind of
Wow.
because it was like one, you think, oh, I need to put my attention on something else or someone else. That scares
Yeah.
me. I'm very scared of meeting someone because I think, oh my God, you might take my energy.
Yeah.
You might become my obsession, and that my obsession at the minute is doing what I'm doing. I need, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I think then it's like you'll start on one thing, and then you think, but I need to focus on this as well. It's your
Yeah.
mind's like 20 thoughts ahead of what you're actually doing.
Yeah. I think it's as well quite a sign of intelligence. I think a lot of bipolar people are very intelligent because we can manage all these tasks at the same time, and I think we get bored easily because our mind's going that fast. You're not stopping and enjoying what you're doing. You need to keep moving. We need to keep always be on the go.
Yeah, that's true. How do you feel when you get excited about things? Do you find you get quite overstimulated and it can
Oh
cause
yeah,
anxiety?
yeah, very much. That's really me. Yeah. It's just everything is quite overwhelming. I tried to explain this to my friend. I was like, if you fall in love with someone, for example, you can be in love, but when we do it, it's like 10 times more love there than when somebody normal, I'm going to use that word, does it, who isn't poorly. Then it's like when you have a breakup, it's literally like you're grieving and you can't breathe and can't function without that person. It's like, I don't know, I don't want to say, I know people suffer and everyone's pain's different, but I feel like we always, everything's so extreme all the time, the good and the bad.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
difficult to control.
It's very difficult that to have a relationship because I mean, well, you've obviously read my book, but that I think
Yeah.
I struggled with is because is I used to be completely, and that probably can be quite confusing for somebody to be
Mm.
like, I remember my ex, he used to ring me constantly and I'd be cleaning and I'd be doing whatever I was doing and I would not respond back for 4 or 5 hours because he wasn't the forefront of my mind, could take it
Yeah.
or leave it. But then when all of a sudden I started to get more involved and obsessed with him again, I constantly wanted to be on the phone. He was my main focus and
Yeah.
everything. And that for me, I think is one of the most difficult things that I struggle with because you kind of want to, I mean, I think it's extremely difficult
Yeah.
to have a relationship, and
And
people to
find balance.
understand the balance. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you go about like when you do meet someone? I'm very quick to tell them I've got bipolar because I always think if we don't tell you straight away, and then I know everyone says get to know people first and then tell them, but I think if I don't tell you straight away, what's the point if you're going to walk away anyway? I've got this thing, so I really struggle with that, and I feel like I need to slow down with that as well. But I don't want to scare people off, but I want to be honest because I'm very open that I have got bipolar, and if you can't handle that, then that's on them.
I mean, it was very difficult for me because I mean, with my first boyfriend I was with when I was a teenager, we didn't know we didn't know what was wrong with me.
Yeah,
I just had these times where I'd stay in bed constantly and I'd have these really severe mood swings at him where it'd just come out of nowhere, and so we
mm,
didn't know back then. And then with my son's dad, he used to be like, he'd call me like a weirdo and you psychotic and that. But I do give him a bit of respect in this in when I was diagnosed, and if I turned around
yeah,
and I said, actually, I've got bipolar disorder, he's never ever used that word to me
yeah,
again.
yeah,
I think the guy that I was with the longest, on and off. Obviously, you've read it. He used it against me. I did tell
yeah,
him I'd not long properly been officially diagnosed when I met him. I
mm.
had a working diagnosis, but yeah, he used it against me straight away.
My
As
ex
soon
did
as things
my
went
last one.
wrong, yeah.
Mm,
Um, the guy that I was with who was in jail kind of he never actually used to like, because I remember saying to him once like, you do know like obviously I've got bipolar. He goes, yeah. He didn't really, he just kind of used to just think, well, she's just all or nothing, that's all she is. He didn't really
yeah,
use it against me, to be fair. I think obviously now, obviously I've put a book out there, so
yeah,
it's
that's
kind of
true.
like, I said to my friend the other day, I said, I think if I was to meet somebody now, I'd probably be like, you know what, go and read my book
Read
and
me
then
book,
come back
yeah.
to me.
That's probably a good idea.
I might take the sex prosecco and powerlifting bit out,
Yeah,
and then hand them a copy. Don't show them what I was like in my manic year.
yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Have a
that's
read
probably a
and
good.
get back to me.
Have a read of that and get back to me. Let me know in about
Yeah,
10 to 14 working days how you feel about
yeah,
it. Um,
yeah,
yeah, it's difficult, and I think you always. I thought it come from my dad. This kind of where I thought, oh, I'm scared of being left. But actually, I think it more now is because you've got this illness, and
mm,
you kind of go, is this person just one day going to go, this is too much for me?
yeah,
And I think
yeah,
you kind of do always have that kind of subconscious thinking in your head.
yeah, of course. Yeah, well, my ex did the same and she turned around and said, I can't handle your mental health. That's what she said, and walked out. And I was like, wow. Like, to use that against me like that. So I just feel really wary about it now, meeting someone and getting in a relationship. And then it's like I was saying, when do you tell them? Or, do you wait and then they can judge it after knowing you? or would you tell them straight away and then it's up to them? It's kind of a weird one.
I think I think that the thing is for me, obviously, it's a bit different now because obviously I've put that book out and it's kind of,
Yeah,
oh, this is who I am. I think if I'd not put the book out, I think I probably would say to people if I got into a conversation with them, because I think I've got so comfortable and had to accept it, I'd turn
yeah,
around and be like, yeah, I have bipolar disorder. But actually, they don't. Had this conversation the other day. If you say you've got bipolar to a guy, they just think, oh, all girls have got bipolar. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Um, I think I was saying to my friend the other day as that really they should still use the phrase manic depressive, even though it's
Yeah.
quite because you think manic depressive, oh my god. But I think if that
But
was
it
actually
explains
still,
it better.
it explains it a lot better,
Mm,
and I think it explains the severity of it. Is that the right word? Severity of it a
severity.
lot.
Yeah,
Severity, thank you. A
yeah.
lot better. Um, because it's like I remember somebody saying to me, bipolar is like an illness on its own. Like you've got the trunk, which is the bipolar, and then you have all these other stuff that comes off it. You have like
Comes
the
off it.
temper, you have the irritability, the anxiety,
Yeah,
the obsessions, the OCD. You know,
yeah.
you can either get I can be obsessed with cleaning, but then not clean my house for 3 weeks because I just don't have the energy to do it.
I can do that as well. I love everything being clean, but then sometimes I just can't, I haven't got the will. My brain's going too fast. I just can't be bothered. Even though I'm actually classed as OCD, then I'm like, but I haven't got the energy half the time. It just
That's
depends on the
interesting.
mood.
It really does. And I always say when people say, "Do you know now when you get ill?" And I go, "Yeah," because for me it's an energy thing. I can
Hmm.
feel it with my energy.
Yeah,
But some days my energy can be that high. It's like I literally don't know what I could possibly do
yeah,
to get rid of it. Like I know that I've been in the gym before where I've like been lifting really, really heavy weights and still having a full blown conversation with my trainer. And it's like, how
yeah,
can you possibly do that? But then
yeah,
other days I go in and I can barely string a sentence together and everything's an effort.
yeah. No, I feel
Um,
that. And it's
so it's,
like we said about extremes, the extreme high, but then you get the extreme low as well. Like you said, you can't even string a sentence together. But people don't understand, I don't think, and that's why I like I'm gonna start helping you more speak out like Brenda, to educate people on what it is really like, because people just think bipolar, you're a bit up and a bit down, but they really have no clue.
it's a daily battle, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is a daily, it's definitely a daily battle. And I think you constantly, for me, I struggle more now, I think, with the irritability, like when I'm irritated and agitated and I can't focus on one thing.
yeah,
I'm okay if I can be obsessed and focused. Say if I'm sat writing and I can write for 6 hours, I'm
yeah.
okay. But
But look
when
how
I'm in that,
strong our minds are. Like we can focus. That's what I was saying. We've got to focus it on the right things, things that are good for us. Because if we focus us on the bad things, we're all or nothing. So if we go for it all and it's bad, it's really dangerous and it's going to be a bad outcome.
yeah, I always look at people and I go, oh, gosh, I'd love to be like one of those people that get up and do the same thing every day. Got,
Yeah,
get up at the same time, did it, and I can do that for
yeah,
quite a long period of time. But then, unfortunately, something will happen, or the chemical in my head will go, and you go. It's
yeah.
like in lockdown, I stopped eating properly, and
I
it's
have.
had such a massive bad effect on me because I've not my body my meals regulate my moods. I've
Yeah,
known that for a long time. Um, Maybe it's because I get obsessed with the fact that I know I've got to eat every 3 hours. So I know,
yeah,
but as soon as I eat, I feel balanced.
yeah,
So the lockdowns affected me massively in regards to you just kind of grabbing whatever, like my mum's eating
yeah.
or my son is.
Well,
Um,
I cooked yesterday, dinner, and it was the first time I'd cooked. I couldn't even tell you how long. I'd just been eating noodles, like picky bits and rubbish, and not. I said to my friend today, it's about looking after yourself, but using like even little things like getting a shower, feeding yourself, little things go out the window with us, and you need to really focus on that. And today I've had breakfast, which I never normally do, and I've had lunch so far. So you've just got to. It's really hard, and people don't realize how hard it is just to eat. sometimes, even just eating, and it's a thing you need to do.
I think
It is
sometimes
really
as well, it
difficult.
goes that fast. The days sometimes can go that fast as you think, oh my God, I've not done anything what I needed to do. And then you build up this
Yeah,
anxiety and you go to sleep with this anxiety and you're like, I need to get up in the morning. I need to do this, this
I've
and
got
this.
this. Yeah.
And
How
it's that
about
kind of,
lockdown?
oh,
How do you feel about change? How do you cope with change?
um, I didn't used to deal very well with change, but obviously
Mm,
things have changed a lot for me with the book and stuff. But
yeah,
even then, I get really locked on,
yeah, I
to
do.
the point where like I can get that overexcited over things that it can put me into really severe anxiety to the point where I feel like I can't breathe and I just
You
need
get
to.
physical symptoms
Yeah,
of
I do.
it.
My stomach, like
Mm,
I suffer so bad with my stomach, even my bladder. Like
yeah,
it's like my body gets inflamed.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, change now. I'm kind of like you want change. I think everybody wants change, but everybody's scared of it. I think that's quite a natural.
yeah. Well, see, at the moment, my thing is, I was scared when we went into lockdown, and I found it really difficult, obviously, with that change. And now things are going back to normal. I started panicking yesterday,
Yeah,
and I said, "It's changing, everything's changing," and I'm like, "I've wanted it back to normal, and I want to get back to normal, but because everything's changing again, it really panics me."
I'm the same because I kind of last year didn't really leave the house much, barring when I went away, and that was a big
Yeah,
ordeal. But I'd got to a point last year because my anxiety was that bad that I wasn't leaving the house much anyway. So it wasn't a
yeah,
huge change for me, like lockdown. It wasn't. It
yeah,
was in the respect that I was starting to venture out a bit more and go to castings and stuff like that. But yeah,
yeah.
I get you totally. I started to panic thinking, oh, I don't want to change now. I want to stay. I want everybody to stay at home in this bubble
Yeah, it's
now.
safe. It's like you're in a bubble and you're protected and it's safe. No one's out there. Nothing's happening. I'm not missing out on anything when I feel bad and I want to stay in the house for a
Yeah,
week. But
exactly
now it's
that.
all getting back to normal. It's yeah, just got it's trying to accept that, and I find that really difficult.
I think it is. That's the biggest thing with bipolar, trying to accept something and to let something go. And I think that's
Yeah,
why meditation helps so much because it allows you to like. This morning, I've started doing the Jabe. So
yeah,
it's basically the prayer that the you recite before you do your morning practice, and it's
yeah,
like really long. And you have to really focus on it, but because you're focusing on it that much and you're trying to obviously pronounce the words and everything like that,
yeah,
you go into this kind of zone.
yeah,
um but sometimes I know that I can get up and I'll meditate and I think I've meditated for an hour and I think, oh, I don't want to go back out into reality. I want to stay on my cushion and
mm,
stay here because I feel okay.
safe.
As soon as I
Yeah,
go out into the world and I start having to interact or do things, it's going to make me feel like
that
pressure.
overwhelmed. Yeah,
Yeah. And
mm,
it's awful because I remember somebody said to me once, I've never seen somebody do so well and still sound so down.
yeah,
And people don't get that. It's like, and Joe Gilgan said it on one of his interviews. He said, "Oh, you've got so much going for you." And he goes, Do you not think I don't think when I'm sat in bed and I can't move and I've not washed myself for days? Do you not think, oh my
yeah,
God, I've got all this success, I've done this well, and I can't even get out of bed and brush my teeth? He was like, it makes you feel more shit than what you
yeah.
do to start with because you're like, how fucking ungrateful am I? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
and I
that's
think as
it
well
gives you
though,
that.
you're waiting for something to go wrong. That's what I do. When everything's going well and I think I've got success, I go to bed, I sleep a lot. And my psychiatrist actually said I hide in my bed because when I'm
Oh yeah, I
asleep,
do.
I'm not thinking or anything. And I feel like I'm always, things can be going well. And I think something's going to go wrong here. So what's happening? And then because I know it's such an extreme drop, I can't enjoy a lot of the positive things, like you're saying, like success and things like that, because I'm waiting for something to go wrong.
That's exactly me. I'm exactly like
Mm.
that. It's like I got a rejection letter the other day, which is fine.
Yeah,
I'm in that type of industry, so it's part and parcel of it. But it triggered something in me from when I was younger, and that was it. Then I was like, oh, I'm terrified now. Like I'm it's going to all fall to pieces, and nothing, why, you know,
Yeah.
it can't go right for this, and you get into that,
Yeah.
and then you're looking for things then, because if your mind starts going onto that negative path, you'll look for other negative things, because you'll go, that's why I feel bad, or
Yeah.
that's
And
why
you
I've
say,
got
I told you
anxiety.
so. I told you so.
You
It's, they
look
say
for
it's
it.
like self-fulfilling prophecy, and you push for it that much that something will go wrong eventually because you've pushed for it
I've
without
started to
even
get a hold
realizing.
of it now, though. Like, I've gone, no, 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 you need to stop. Like, that's
Yeah.
old thinking, that you've got to get, you have to get stubborn with it. It's like Monday yesterday, and I thought I'd got to sort my eating out. Not for the fact that my clothes don't fit me anymore, for the fact that my moods are changing ridiculously, like
Yeah.
up, down, up, down. Um, so that also as well, I find when your moods, because your moods can change so severely, it can actually have more of an effect on you, because
Yeah.
your body can't. I remember when I was going to A&E every week, and she kept saying to me, she was like, I think you're cycling, she said, because what's happening is your moods are changing that quick that you're sending your body into fight or flight. It can't keep
Yeah.
up. And you
Yeah.
don't, sometimes I sit here and I have anxiety attacks, and I go, why is my face going numb? Why can't I breathe? Why is my chest out? I'm not thinking of nothing. I'm not thinking, but actually, my thoughts must be going that fast that I'm not even
Yeah.
aware that I'm
You're not
that
even
what's
picking
going
up on
through
it.
my head.
Yeah.
No, until
Yeah.
you sit and meditate, and then you get them coming through, and you're like, oh my
More
gosh,
in a more slower way, aren't we? And then you can relax and read your thoughts a lot better.
yeah.
And
Do you
it's
journal?
difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
found
All the
that to
time.
help?
Yeah. I have to write everything me to get it out. I have to get things out. Have you ever? I've done a lot of the no send letters as well. So if I'm mad, like I'll tell you, my mum put me in care when I was 12. I've never seen her since. And so that's something that really triggers my fear of abandonment with people as well. But
Yeah.
I write a lot of letters, and you can write a letter to her, for example, post it. She's never going to see it because they ain't got an address. But I just feel better that I've got everything out what I want to say.
Because you put it
Put
out
it on
into the
paper.
universe.
Yeah, you put it out, and you just feel it really helps. I find I write a lot.
I might try that letter thing.
Yeah, because they're never going to get it. You don't put an address in it, but it just feels like you've
Energetically, though,
accomplished
they
something.
probably do.
Yeah, you just feel like
Energetically,
you've
they
accomplished
will.
something. Yeah, put it out to the universe, like you said.
I do it all the time, though. When I was putting those journals together with the book, and I was
Yeah,
like, oh my God, 2 years ago, I wanted that. I've got that. Like my dog, I kept saying, oh,
yeah.
I really want a black pug. And I got a black pug. And I said about wanting to take my son to LA, and I went to
Look, have
see
you
him.
seen The Secret? You must have seen The Secret.
I watched that, yeah, like years and years ago. But then I got into a
Yeah,
woman called Esther Hicks, um,
right.
who was before The Secret. And
All right.
that's the book I talk about in my book, Ask and It's
Yeah,
Given. Um,
right.
she's amazing for people that have severe mood changes, because she has these 21 different practices, and she has
Yeah,
this thing, I used to do it in a journal, which thought feels better, and it
right.
basically moves you up the emotional scale. So say you're feeling really
Okay.
angry, she'll be like, anger's a really good place to be, because if you're in that state of despair or vulnerability, it's anger's actually better, because if you're angry, you'll be able to start to move out of the anger.
Yeah.
But she's
Mm.
amazing, because she explained things that, for me, when I watched The Secret, what it made me do is it was like, I don't get this, how you can just put things out. And that's what made me go, I need to learn this meditation thing, because it
Yeah,
must be to do with your mind. And then I got on to Jerry and Esther Hicks, and they, I just
right.
think, are amazing. And then and Louise Hay and Mariana
Oh, let me tell
Williamson.
you, I've got some of her books, yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing. But I mean, you should go on YouTube and listen to some of Esther Hicks's talks. She even
Yeah, I will.
there's one, if you type it in, Esther Hicks on bipolar.
Yeah.
She's really good, because I do believe, even though like you've got this chemical imbalance, I do believe, like for me, when I started having Reiki every single week, it balanced me out completely.
Yeah, you can help yourself, definitely.
Yeah,
I know it's the chemicals in the brain, but I think you can help yourself, and it must release more chemicals that tries to balance it out a little bit. And I do believe that there's like, everything's written in the stars, as they say, like it's serendipity. And I think what you put out there, you get back.
Oh
Definitely.
yeah, I believe that completely. And you have to
Mm.
get a hold of that sometimes, like, because at the minute everything is in like there, and I've got to wait, and I struggle with
Yeah.
patience. Do you know what I mean?
So do
And I'm
I.
trying to teach myself patience now, but then it's like
Yeah.
the worst thing for somebody like us is having to wait for something.
Yeah.
People don't get that. It's really difficult because
It is really difficult.
you have to know there and then, okay, well, what is it, because you have to make sense of it
Yeah.
in your head. Somebody says to you, it's like my friend would say, I'll call you back at 7, and he doesn't call me
Oh,
back at
and
7.
they don't.
It really
Yeah.
bothers me because it's like, well, you said 7 o'clock, so I've not. And we have a bit of a joke about it now, but
Yeah.
little things like that can set me off, and I'm trying to train myself now that you
Yeah.
know um sometimes people have got other things going on, and
Yeah.
because I
We're
do it,
not the
I don't
center
always
of it
respond
all.
to people because I'm doing something
Yeah. Yeah.
else. But your head, you're like, oh, they've not called me back. We said
Yeah, I
seven
must have done
o'clock.
something. They hate me. I'm like terrible though with times. Anyway, like if my friend says she'll be here at 3 and it's 3:10, I start freaking out.
Yeah, no,
I'm like,
I'm
well,
the same.
like I can't handle that. And I have to be on schedule. Like, but then I'll be late sometimes.
No, I
But
am.
that's
I'm
all
terrible
right.
for being late, but yeah.
Yeah, but other people, nah.
Do you know what? It's been great having this chat with you, and I really
Yeah,
appreciate you coming on because, like I say, with the Speak Out Like Brenda, we want to obviously get as many shared experiences as possible. So I really appreciate you coming on and having
well,
a
I
little
really
chat with me.
appreciate you and your book. Like I said, but when it was meant to be that, so I never watched the news, and I seen you on the news, and then I feel like I've really found someone that I can link with, and I feel like someone who really understands me, and that I'm not the only one suffering out there. That's what it's given me, you and your book, and bipolar UK, obviously, I've discovered, which I never even knew about. So I'm really grateful. So thank you for everything you've done.
That's no, God, it's amazing. Like I never expected it to have the effect. You know what I mean? It was just me ranting out
Yeah.
and stuff. But
You're going to
I'm
help
more.
a lot of people.
I hope so. I hope it
You
does.
will.
I hope it does. But I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I'm really happy that bipolar you've reached. You've got that about there. Sorry
Yeah.
about bipolar UK because they're fantastic.
Well, I've
Um.
got a mood chart now
Oh,
on
have
my fridge.
you?
Yeah, and I move it, and then when my friend Haley's my best friend, she comes nearly every day, and she can see herself where I'm at on the scale.
Yeah.
It's so helpful.
Yeah. It's
Such a helpful
amazing.
tool.
It really is. But I mean, even for my son, like I've said before, he's 9
Yeah.
and he can refer to that chart. And I
Yeah,
think
just
it's
people
really
know where
good.
you're at.
Yeah, because you need to. Because sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're like, where am I?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Even I don't know where I am, but it's interesting now because it's like my friends that have been friends with me for a long time have started to go, oh, actually, like when you got ill before the COVID, when you went into that
Mm,
like weird kind of obviously not in Tasha reality, he was like,
yeah.
kind of looking back, I knew now looking back, I knew that you was getting ill because every time I tried to talk to you about the virus or explain it to you, you were questioning it and you were doing all
Yeah.
this. He said, now looking back, if I would have known more, I probably should have been able to have gone, Tasha, I think you might be getting poorly.
Yeah, you're not very well, yeah.
Yeah, because I was dissecting it like completely.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of knew myself, but then it was just that one little thing. It tipped me over the edge, my mum's shopping list, and that was it then.
Yeah.
It just I just lost complete touch with reality, and that was it. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, those mood charts are amazing. And I think for anybody close to you as well, for them to have that mood
Yeah.
chart is amazing.
Well, I'll give your book to Haley now, because obviously she's the person that's supporting me and around me all the time, and said it'll just help you understand how what I go through on a daily basis, and I think it'll really help others, not just people suffering, but people like Haley who's helping me to read your book. And I've also referred her to Bipolar UK as well.
And I mean, they're
Um,
a great team. They really, really are,
yeah.
and they're doing a lot. And the aim is to get them, more exposure and more funding, and
Mm.
because a lot of people, and after this pandemic, I keep saying, a lot of young people, you know, teens to early 20s. I think a lot
Yeah,
of people are going to start getting that, you know,
more
anything
diagnosed.
traumatic in your life, yeah.
Yeah,
But you know, they're there, and it's good that they're there, and the community that they've got is fantastic, and they're just a great team. Like they've helped me like loads,
yeah.
they really have, and
I
they're
was
supportive.
surprised that like my psychiatrist always refers me to these groups and things, and I was really surprised when I heard of Bipolar UK through yourself that the psychiatrist hadn't mentioned it, because they are so good. And I've got an appointment next month, and I'm going to be telling her about them, because more people should be directed to it, and then obviously more exposure they get, they can start raising people raise money for them as
Of
well.
course, that's exactly it, because they deserve
Yeah,
it, and they need it. But no, that makes me day that obviously you've connected with them. That's brilliant.
yeah.
Well, I'm going to let you go, but I'd like to
All
thank
right,
you
hon.
so much for coming on and having a
No,
chat
thank
with me.
you.
Do join us on Thursday as well, because I've got
Oh, well.
doing the Bipolar UK takeover with Kath on Thursday, so that will be
Yeah,
on
we'll
their
definitely be
Instagram.
watching.
But I'll